right? It's a PS5 collection. This is going to go backwards in alphabetical order. It's going to go from bottom to top. The first game is the Uncharted collection. Legacy of Thieves collection, sorry. Remastered. So this has Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy. I got it for Lost Legacy. I played Uncharted 4 on the PS4. But I got it for Lost Legacy, which uses Chloe and Nadine, or the two characters. I've been playing some of that. That was the last thing I was doing on the PS5. Fun, looks amazing. Like, great game. It's Uncharted 4 is fantastic. Sorry, don't tap. It's another thing I'd be doing, and the other channel be tapping on the cases and stuff. But yeah, Uncharted series is great. You know, I have the Uncharted. I think that one's just called the Uncharted collection on the PS4 that has the first 3 games in it. So it's nice to have all these games in one spot. And Lost Legacy's been fun so far. You're finding treasures. It's a little more open like 4 was. These bigger open areas in 4. They have a very similar area where you're in a Jeep like 4, and you kind of search around for hidden treasures and stuff like that, which is cool. I appreciate that. But these are great games. Uncharted is a fantastic series. I almost did it again. Siberia, the World Before. This is cool because this came with this cool book. It's like an art book, kind of, right? Or like, yeah, you see. This is showing stuff from all the previous games. I have played the first. I played some of the second. It's funny, I played this one, and I still have it. Siberia 3 on the Xbox. I got it on like a 4 for $20 deal or whatever the hell it was at a GameStop, and this was 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm like, I'm going to play the third one. I enjoyed the third one as well. The third and this one are real good at showing you the differences in consoles. Although the Siberia games, you know, are kind of PC focused first and foremost. But they did do the first 2 I had on the Xbox. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I beat the first one. But you're Kate Walker again in this one. You also play as Donna Rose. So you're going back in time, you're switching things, you're going back to her story. This is like based in reality, but not. It's like World War II, but names are different and stuff, and some countries are made up, but then other countries are real, so it's a weird, interesting blend of real and made up stuff. But it's cool, it's classic point and click stuff. What's his name? The robot. I keep doing that, I guess. The automaton, I should say. What's his name? Oscar. He's back again, but she put him in like a little robot armadillo type thing. Automaton armadillo. But it's cool. It looks really nice. It's cool point and click stuff. You're finding puzzles. You're finding stuff. You go back in time to Donna's part, and then you come back in the future, same place. Because Kate Walker, at the end of the third one, she gets arrested. Spoilers. And the beginning of this one starts off there. You get free. You're in a Russian prison, I believe. Is it even Russia in this, or do they have a different name? I don't know. Like I said, some of it is real, and it's like it's like, you know who they are, you know, but you don't. It's like in Donna's part, it's during World War II, but they're not the Nazis. I forget what they call them, but that's what they're supposed to be. Like that, they changed the name, but the U.S. is there. There's a couple of made-up countries, but then there's real. It's interesting. But you go back and play as Donna, and then you're playing as Kate in the same area, and you use what you see kind of playing as Donna, and then you get a code and you find a different thing in the present day. It's cool. It looks nice. It's good puzzles and stuff. I actually really like this game. I would recommend this. This is not even expensive either. This might be the only version you can get. I think I got it for $20 new off Amazon. So you get this 20 years of celebrating Siberia. Third game here, Jedi Survivor. I talked about this on my other channel. This game is a little disappointing, especially compared to Fallen Order. I feel like you were able to explore more planets. I know Outlaws just came out, and that's getting kind of not leaning positive reviews. Some people don't like it. Some of the AI is apparently bad, but you can explore more in that game. So I will pick that up when it's on sale. I'm not going to pay $70 for it. Your Cal Kestis, that's his name again in this one. Not as many planets to go to in this one. Your crew from the first game is broken up. Seer, I believe, is the woman's name. I'm probably saying it wrong. Greasy is the other guy, the pilot. and I forget the. Oh, she's one of the like witches. Is that what she is? I forget her name. She's back as well, and she's almost overpowered in a way because she's doing all this crazy stuff. Because you don't play as her, but she's with you in parts, and she's doing stuff helping you out. And she's like overpowered in terms of what she can do. It's like, why aren't I just using her and destroying everybody? I forget her name though. But the two bigger worlds, especially the one where you go and you meet up with your crew again. It's been a while. At the beginning of this game, you're like with your new crew on Coruscant, and you're briefly on Coruscant. You can go back, but it's a small part of it. And spoilers here, they all get wiped out. I was like, oh, these are kind of cool characters. I'm like, okay, except the one guy, and there's a little twist towards the end. There's a guy, the kind of not main, but he's the main bad guy, but not. He gets like thawed out. You thaw him out of like this thing, cryo, whatever the hell. And he was a Jedi during the High Republic, I guess. And now he's kind of bad. He was trying to. He finds a planet where he wants to have Jedi go and train and stuff, and shit happens, corruption, blah, blah, blah. He kind of turns. So he's the bad guy for a little bit. He was a cool character, and they should have used him more. I don't know why they didn't. I feel like he wasn't explored enough. But the one planet where Greasy's got his bar is really cool because you're kind of finding people out in that world on that planet, and you're bringing them back to your bar, and there's more people in the bar. There's a DJ, there's a band and stuff. You're filling up a fish tank with fish you can find throughout the game. This guy, I forget his name, catches the fish for you. You find him in different areas of the world. So there's another big world. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a desert type world where the remaining Jedi are set up. The guy from the first one, I forget his name. He's there. Sarah's there. He's got his library, and there's a part I talked about in my other channel. I mentioned on Instagram. There's a fight with Vader where you use her and not Cal, and I don't understand why they have Vader and all this shit anymore. All he does, it's a fight where you lose, but you're kind of like busting Vader up. I don't know why they make Vader get his ass kicked these days. I've talked about this on my other channel in ramble type stuff. He's constantly getting his ass kicked. Like, it's ridiculous. He's constantly, like, if it's not that show, I can't say her name, Ashoka. The only one who should be kicking his ass is Obi-Wan because he trained him and she knows fucking shit, you know. Somebody's always got somebody, right? But like her freaking, she busted him up in the show, the Clone Wars show, I think, right? But in this, you bust him up and then you kind of could have gotten him, but your lightsaber just missed and he wins and leaves and you die. But it should have been you on the defensive the whole time, him kicking your ass. Maybe you get a shot or two in, but he's too good. Instead, it's like, no, you kind of kick his ass, but he kind of got. It's like, why? Vader's supposed to be the shit, and they kind of made. Over the years, he's become like almost a scrub. As crazy as that sounds, but Cal's cool in this. The fighting's still cool. The worlds that you get to explore are cool. There's not enough of them. There's two big worlds. Coruscant's tiny. The end part planet where you go, where they wanted to train the Jedi and stuff, is so small, so disappointing. You barely do anything there. That's the end game. There's a couple of like space stations and a meteor, not a meteor, an asteroid, stuff like that, which is cool, but is not enough to explore, in my opinion. And the thing with Star Wars games is you want to explore. When I get to a new planet in Star Wars, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to explore it. It's just not enough in this game, but it's still decent. Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart. I've not beaten this yet, but it is a fantastic. Ratchet and Clank's just these games are just fun. You play as a Ratchet and Rivet in this one. Ratchet, Rivet. There's a Clank's there. Clank's hanging out with Rivet now, and I've been playing. And there's another robot that I have. I forget its name. But it starts where I think Ratchet gets like this transdimensionator or something. He wants to help Ratchet find other Lombaxes, and then of course the Nefarious is there. He gets a hold of it, and then you go into these other futures and stuff, and things change, and that's the kind of the time things kind of like the change is like little riffs, and they change stuff. There's the Clank stuff you do where you're like trying to, I forget what it is. You're having the Clanks do all this stuff, and you get like puzzle type stuff, which is kind of cool. It looks amazing. You're getting all the crazy weapons. It's just fun gameplay, collecting the bolts, upgrading your weapons, and everything else. It's just that these games are just fun. They've always have been. I haven't played a ton of this one either. Midnight Suns, I got this because it's like a turn-based strategy game on a grid, and you're using the Midnight Suns here, and you get other people from Marvel Universe. I think your group right now, I have Ghost Rider, Blade. your character here in the middle is just a made-up character. Iron Man's there. Doctor Strange, I think I have in my group. I have not gotten Wolverine and Spider-Man here yet, though. Or the Scarlet Witch. I think I have one or two other people. I can't remember who they are. Pretty cool, though. It's been pretty cool so far. You're like, I forget what the story is. Like, this people that your character banished has come back, and now they're kind of corrupting other enemies, and they're stronger now, like Venom I fought and stuff like that. And it's like I said, it's you're on a grid and stuff, you know, that kind of gameplay. Yakuza Infinite Wealth. Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, or it's just Like a Dragon. So this is a sequel to Like a Dragon. You using Ichiban and Kiryu. You're in Hawaii. You start off in Japan, and then shit goes south for you and your buddies. I can't remember their names from the freaking first one. They're all great though. Sadako or Psycho. The one woman, and the two guys. I can't remember their names. I always forget their names. But they're back. You use them briefly. I don't know if they come up. There's another guy you're hanging out with now that you help. He kind of robs you when you're in Hawaii. And then he works for the local gang, and then you help him out. Now he's part of my group too. I always forget their names. The other people from the first one. And apparently you get somebody else here in this back, which I have not seen yet. I've played some of this though. It looks great. It's fun. It's goofy. It's the Yakuza series, right? It's turn-based. It's more turn-based combat. You're running around, but you're giving out your orders and stuff. It's not like the other ones where it's kind of just more of a beat 'em up. But it's been pretty cool so far. It's another one I have to go back to. Here's a fantastic game. This and the one after are my two favorite that I've played on the PS5. Ghostwire Tokyo. This game is fantastic. I totally recommend getting this if you have a PS5 and I've played it. It's on the Xbox One as well, not the Series X, not the one. I think it's just downloadable on there. This is originally exclusive. I don't know if it was always going to be a timed exclusive. This and Deathloop. And then Microsoft bought Bethesda, and then they just came out quicker. But they were timed exclusives for the PS5. This game's fantastic. It takes place in, and this GameWorks, who did the Two Evil Withins, and they did another game, Hi-Fi Rush, or something like that. Not Gravity Rush. And it was, they shut them down, which sucks. I thought they were making a second one of these. I don't know. But this is cool. It's in Japan. It's very urban legend type stuff. In the beginning, your character, this shit happens. It's kind of like apocalyptic type thing. Everybody disappears, right? Their clothes are just there, but you're still there because this other guy, spirit, latches himself onto you, and he's kind of how you fight. So you have different like wind, fire, water attacks that you can upgrade and find these little shrines and make them more powerful. The combat's fun. You're hitting all these two here. These tiny enemies, the school fucking kids, the guys with the umbrellas, there's cops, there's the slit-mouthed woman with the giant scissors, there's a bunch of other ones, flying enemies. Some decent boss fights as well. But you're finding a bunch of stuff. There's yokai in there as well. The cat yokai are the ones who do the shops that you find, and you can find stuff, and there's a lot of stuff to collect in here. There's a cool, I guess it was a DLC, but it came with this, or maybe it came for everybody. Like you just be able to download or whatever for free, and it was in a school that was really cool. It was like in health class they'd have the human body with the organs and stuff, and it starts to follow you, and every time you turn around it stops, and then when you start moving you turn around, he's closer because he's moving when you can't see him. It's kind of cool. But the fighting's cool. You hit the enemies, and then you get to their core, and you pull out their core, and you get upgrade stuff. That's how you upgrade. You can get them, whatever they are. I forget what they are. You're finding all the spirits in the world. They're all floating around, and you got to help them by doing this kind of stuff with the thumbstick and the symbols. And then you bring it to this phone booth, and you the more you get in, I forget what it is, you can try to get all of them. And some you have to pull stuff out of. There's like rebar and beams in them. Like I said, the varied enemies and stuff, it's cool. You can also get like a bow and arrow too, as well. You can attack the enemies from behind and one hit them, take them out. They don't see you. And there's like a random thing where like it's like the parade. I don't know what it is. Like the other side parade comes through and you gotta hide and stuff. That's really cool. There's a bunch of just weird looking things walking down the street. The cat yokai run the shops and stuff where you can buy food. You're finding food and stuff for health all over the place, drinks and everything else. There's a lot to find in this. Some good side stuff as well where you're taking pictures of things. Because the guy who attaches himself to you, I guess, was killed or knocked into the spirit realm, I don't know, by the main bad guy, and he had a group of people that do this paranormal stuff. So you talk to some of the other group as well. It's a fantastic game. Looks nice. The combat's fun. It's play this game. And of course, the other amazing game, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the first part I have on the PS4, the remake. This game is incredible. It's so good. It's like a throwback while being new. It's obviously a complete remake of Final Fantasy VII, which I barely played any of. I've talked about it on this channel as well, probably when I picked it up at garage sales over the years. This one is a complete remake while feeling nostalgic, even though I never really played it, but, nostalgic to older games in general, while being fresh at the same time. And it looks fantastic. The combat is not turn-based anymore. You're running around like Final Fantasy 15 and 12 and stuff like that. And all the characters are cool. We got Cloud, Barrett, Tifa, Yuffie, Aerith, Kate Sith. There's Sephiroth, the bad guy. Zack pops up briefly. And then every area you get to looks great. There's just stuff to find everywhere. Pretty cool enemies as always. There's always something to do. A lot of side stuff to do. And there's like once I got to a point where you get Sid and he's the pilot obviously of the Final Fantasy series, and the plane gets destroyed and then it's a boat and I'm like, oh, I guess we're entering Endgame, and I'm like, no, here comes a bunch of more side quests to do and all this other crap. It's just an incredible game. I can go on and on. I think I did a review of my other channel. Maybe I'll do some more reviews on this channel as well, but this game was something else. It's so good. There's still some stuff I need to do. Because there's other things you do, I forget what it is, it's called. Because you get like the combat, you get and they were espers in Final Fantasy VI. I don't know what they're called in this one. But you got to do certain things in the game that you can get them. And then Chad leads back and you're doing the stuff in the simulation where you can get those titans or whatever they're called. I forget what they're called. But there's like the little, you go into the board game type thing, and it looks like the old Final Fantasy characters in that kind of PS1 look. That's a mini game type thing you got to do, a bunch of things, on a couple different things you get to do. There's a cool thing called, this was not in the original, I asked my friend, Queen's Blood. It's like a card fight game. It's awesome. I was like, oh, this is great. It's like Gwent type stuff from The Witcher. I'm like, this is great. You're playing other people, and that has a whole side quest to it too, which is really cool. It's just a fantastic game. I can go on and on about this, but I mean, obviously, if you love this game, you would already played it. But if you haven't played it anyway, this one was a little disappointing. I didn't play all of it. Forspoken, it was cheap. I got it. It's another Square Enix game that was exclusive. Looks really nice. I forget her name. This main character, I should say, Frey Holland. You get pulled in from New York City in the beginning, and this thing attaches yourself to your wrist. Something in these games, something's always attaching itself to you, and you get powers from that and stuff. The game, the world, I played maybe 7-8 hours of this. The world's very bland. It's not a lot going on, which is that's the thing that's disappointing me. The combat's decent though, but I don't know. The open world hasn't done it for me. Maybe there's more to it. The further I play, I will go back to it at some point. Here's one that's sealed. Dredge. I got it because it was cheaper, and I've heard about this game. A lot of people say it's good, but I just have not opened it yet. Here's one that was another disappointing one. It didn't suck by any means, but the Dead Space remake. I don't know why. When I first played Dead Space, I loved it. I loved the Dead Space games. But back when I first played it, I didn't notice a lot of the things that would have pissed me off because it was fresh and new. I feel like this one changes none of that, so that stuff's there again, and now it's just pissing me off because it's like, why didn't you fix this? Still, it looks great. The combat is fun, but it's just, I don't know, the stuff in this was just bothering me. I can't fully put my finger on it. It was not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's still a great game, but it's just, it didn't have the impact. Like the remake, I feel, should be better than the original, right? And the original is just better than this one. Like Resident Evil 2 remake's better. I could argue 3 is not. The 4 remake was better. The Final Fantasy remake here, it just seems better. And while being nostalgic at the same time as being fresh, I just felt like this was just literally the same game with a new coat of paint. Like, I don't know. Here's a cool one, Deathmark 2, Spirit Hunter Volume 3, Deathmark. I have on the Vita as the first one, NG on the Switch is the second. These are visual horror novels with some gameplay. This one has more gameplay than the other two. He plays the same guy here as the first one, I forget his name, the first Deathmark. And you're in a school. You're posing as a teacher because once again, urban legends playing to this. Kids are getting killed by this. I forget what it's called. It's actually pretty creepy when you see it. The Departed, I think it's called. And it's attached itself to you now. It loves you, and you got to do all this shit. It's pretty creepy as well. And you got to do certain things in the boss fights a certain way as well. Like you got to do things to free the spirit, and then the spirit still ends up getting devoured by the bad spirit. It's taking out these lower-ended bad spirits. So it's actually a really cool game. I would check this out. I'd check all of them out actually. And it's different. All these people, well, not all of them. These two here were not. These two schoolgirls were not, but the rest were in the original Deathmark as well. But really cool game. Here's another one that's kind of disappointing me. Deathloop. I picked this one up. This was the other Bethesda timed exclusive. I don't know. I didn't play a ton of it, but it's just it seemed kind of bland. You keep dying. Every time you die, you just like come back. It's the Deathloop, right? You got to figure out your way off this island or something. I need to play more of it though. Break the loop. I don't know. The combat wasn't doing a ton for me though. The characters, you've contacted her, but I've been using him mostly. I forget his name. The characters are fine. I don't know. Maybe it'll get better. Assassin's Creed Mirage. I like this game. Some people did not like this game. This has something in it. This thing. I don't know what this is, but it's a bunch of shit. Oh, it's a map of Baghdad. I'm not going to open it up. It's always nice getting stuff though, and some postcards. I don't know if these are developers on the game or these are people that did these artwork for these pictures. Always cool when you get stuff, right? You don't get that anymore, really. The days of the manual are long gone, although you do occasionally see them. I like this game because it brought me back to the older Assassin's Creed, Altair, Ezio. Very contained, smaller world, but contained. Really got the feel of running up the stuff, jumping on. It did feel a little slower, this one, in terms of the parkour than the originals, but I still did like it. This has a side quest on here, apparently, that I did not do. But I just liked it. It was cool. The character was fun. I even know I forget his name. I've lost the story of lithographs of the things. Those three things, not postcards. I've lost the story on Assassin's Creed. I've talked about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Awesome open world game. It's not a great Assassin's Creed game to me, but you know, I feel like they've lost the narrative of Assassin's Creed a while ago. I don't even pay attention to it anymore. But everything was fun. The combat's still fun. You're running around searching stuff. You're stealthing around, taking people out. It just was a real throwback to those original ones, and I appreciated that because I don't look at those huge open ones. Origins is another one. Like Black Flag is my favorite, and that did a good job of, while seeming huge, it really wasn't huge. Odyssey is just ridiculous. It's so huge. It's ridiculous. But I did like that game a ton. But it's just almost overwhelming how big it is. But this one's awesome. I don't know. I get a lot of people shit on it. I thought it was really cool. And we're going to end it here with Plague Tale Requiem. Requiem? I hate that word. Awesome game. This is Innocence is the first one. I love that one too. I played that on Xbox One. You're Hugo and Amicia again. Brother and sister. You do use them both. This game is a downer ending. I won't spoil it. If you played it, you know. And you come across these two people as well. I forget their names. And your mother is there. And Lucas is the other kind of, he's the alchemist. He's training under their mother. A lot of sad stuff happens in this game. It looks incredible. Like, there's a part, because this game is a stealth kind of game. You want to hide. There's combat. Amicia has her sling. You get different things you can use in the sling where you can put out enemies' torches. You can throw them oil type stuff on them and burn them. Just regular rocks. There's a few other things too. And then if you use Hugo, he can control the rats because the rats are here all the plague. There's a deeper story than that. But, you know, he controls rats at points and you can sick them on the dudes. And it's funny because Lucas will be like, oh my god, why'd you do that to me? It's like, dude, shut up. They're trying to kill me constantly. Shut up. You know? But like I said, it looks amazing. There's a part where I was hiding under a cart and I could see the character's hair. And I was like, that looks incredible. It's a really cool game. There's parts where you can explore and kind of just go off and run around at different points. Um, I really like this game a lot, and I liked Innocence also. It's a cool game. The combat is pretty fun. You'll get a little annoyed at this little trial and error. You can avoid enemies and then run for it and kind of make it to the next area. You try to want to be as stealthy as possible. Throughout, there's a few parts that just throw a lot of combat in there, and that can get a little frustrating because while the combat is solid, it's not fast paced, and sometimes these guys are coming down, and you gotta take them out with Amicia quick. But both the characters are good. It's a cool story. I liked it, but it is a downer in quite a few parts in this game. But it's really cool. But yeah, that's my PS5 collection back on the Buried Under Cliches channel. If any of I know other people I mentioned it on my other channel, Slip into Shadows. I know you guys are here. Welcome to a little bit different. You're used to the whispering and the gum chewing and stuff like that, tapping. This is just going to be me like it used to be on this channel. And to anybody who comes that has been here from a while back, hey, if you're still here, awesome. But I understand if nobody's here. It's been a long time. But anyway, thanks for checking this out, and have a good day.